Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustus, and I'm back with another episode of Doki Doki Literature Club, where this time we will be writing a poem. So, what are we gonna write? Who are we gonna go for? Well, I want to continue heading towards. You can't do anything with the Dokis. Oh, I accidentally clicked something. I don't know what I just clicked. Oh dear. I also forgot to save, so that's not good. So let's do that here. I'll save here, actually, because I might, well, so I can keep track of I'm dumb. I don't know what I just clicked. I was trying to get the Dokis to do something, but they didn't. Oh well. We went after Yuri last time, so. Oh well, I mean not after. We went after Sayori, but we got Yuri as a kind of, just in case, as we got more points with her than Natsuki. I mean, hell, Natsuki fucking hated us. But we're going to get Yuri, of course, continuing on trend and whatnot. So let's choose things that Yuri might like. Frightening, pleasure, adventure, lust, climax, nibble, dance, bouncy, socks, heartbeat, precious. But my goal is I'm probably going to hit 15 with Yuri, and then 5 with Natsuki. Or I might... Well, I can't do that, actually. I was going to say I was going to do all of them with Yuri, and none with Natsuki to see what happens. But I can't do that, because I don't remember what the fuck I clicked on the first time. Oh well. Electricity, vibrant, fester, hurt, tragedy, raindrops, happiness, mouse, extraordinary cheeks. Anxiety, party, wonderful, wrath, heaven sent, destiny, suicide, analysis, defeat, nature. Anxiety. Sugar, unrequited, ocean, starscape, vivid, daydream, flea, puppy, fluffy, inferno. Let's just make this as grim dark as we can. Let's make fucking Warhammer jealous. Let's make Poe wake up in his grave and give me a thumbs up. Jump, vacation, portrait, special, scars, universe, depression, vertigo, question time. We're gonna write a fucking mid-2000s emo song is what we're gonna do. Essence, captive, broken, milk, flower, unrestrained, bed, lucky, swimsuit, insight. Effulgent, eternity, cute, unending, shopping, breed, melancholy, kiss, anger, love. Oh, really? Anger was Natsuki. Intriguing. Misery, bunny, romance, chocolate, atone, lollipop, agonizing, crimson, meager, playground. Disoriented, pink, spinning, friend, strawberry, pickle. So to say strawberry pickle, that'd be much more unfortunate. Actually, what happens when you pickle strawberries? I'm gonna guess they probably taste horrible, but I don't know. Might get booze. No, well, not with vinegar. No, whatever. Anime, email, Valentine, sweet. Disoriented. Comfort, marriage, judgment, childhood, secretive, sparkle, games, treasure, embrace, covet. Graveyard, laugh, shame, parfait, dream, loud, fun, horror, heart, color. Journey, giggle, grief, hope, charm, variance, candy, tenacious, shiny, fear. That was a weird little... I saw that, Yuri. Holiday, hopeless, cry, peace, fantasy, imagination, joy, existence, calm, kitty. Whistle, extreme, vivacious, together, bliss, incongruent, whirlwind, waterfall, memories, intellectual. Sunset, whisper, lazy, sticky, hop, hair, jumpy, landscape, alone, tears. Excitement, fireworks, pain, nightgown, awesome, forgive, twirl, smile, family, pout, fireworks. I think Natsuki also made a weird face, but I'm not going to swear to that. Disaster, skipping, aura, vitality, pure determination. Yes, pure determination. Cheer, raincloud, infallible, flying. Skipping. Maybe she didn't. That might just be her normal face. Afterimage, music, peaceful, fireflies, beauty, feather, headphones, ambient, dark, bubbles. Well, that was mildly unsettling. Hi again, Augustus. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, and everyone else is already hanging out. Stop glitching, Yuri. Thanks for keeping your promise, Augustus. I hope this isn't too overwhelming a commitment for you. making her dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Stop. Never mind. It's gonna keep doing it no matter how much I tell it to stop. Come on, like he deserves any slack. He already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan on coming here and hang out or what. But if you don't take the club seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Hey, get out from in front of the text box, please. Please? Natsuki may have a big mouth for someone who keeps manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Can you actually, if you go back to the history, can you read it? Yep. That's what I thought. I noticed that, game. I noticed your little music thing. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops into her seat. I also noticed that the slight angle that the background is in. I'm sorry, Augustus. You make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Actually, that might not be it. It looks like it's at a weird angle to me because I remember that being flat, and this is me dropping my phone. Like a dum-dum. This is, at an angle. That's not normal. Anyway, now that you're in the club room and all, perhaps you might be interested in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. Like, I've have sinus issues and I get ear infections. I've gotten ear infections a lot. I've been in a room where it's kind of wobbly like that and it makes my fucking head hurt. So it only feels natural for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait. I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. I noticed... no, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if you don't read often, even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read that should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. Enthusiastically, I take the book. Is the background zooming in, or am I just getting paranoid? Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Thanks for fixing the background. But not fixing the music. Great. Now that everything's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just reading this a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you got 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean... I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is called Portrait of Markov. Edgar Markov? There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about a religious camp that turned into a human experiment prison. And the people that get trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people to cut off their limbs and affixing them to... that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of... I'd probably actually read that book. Or a manga. If it was a manga, I'd be more likely to read it because I have a large backlog of shit. But ironically, I probably would read that. That sounds mildly interesting. Or at the very least, that's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. You're not a fan of that sort of thing, Augustus? No, it's not that. Actually, quite the opposite. I love weird shit like that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot Yuri is into those kind of things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that in this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. And suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? I do that a lot too, don't worry. Let's, Yep, it's in the history. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem where I let things in the book and writing fuel my imagination. My whole body... Let's see. That's not in the history. Interesting. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. Usually if I was reading this on my own and not reading aloud, I probably would have been able to read most, if not all of that. But I'm waiting for the thing to... whatever. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Stop glitching. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just I'm not very used to it. Is reading with anyone else. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bothering. It's so much harder to see that when you're trying to read out loud. It's kind of annoying. Whatever. Yuri, you apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and then hold my book more between the two of us. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess it makes this kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. You know, I wouldn't be able to read like this, not even slightly. Not even slightly. My vision is too shit. That, and I kind of tend to hunch over when I'm reading anyway because my posture is garbage. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you reading? Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you're being so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you, a little bit. Eh? No, I don't relate with this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second-guesses things she says and all that. That's why you were thinking about... Sorry, I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't get to that far yet, so I don't know how it came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Eh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri pushes her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I'll just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Augustus? Did something happen just now? Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does that sometimes, so it's not alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other? Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd start without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Whose poem should I read first? Well, I'm just going to go in order because Yuri's not here, so we're going to read Natsuki's first. And while I can probably read her handwriting because her handwriting is fine, I'm going to read it from my phone anyway. This is... Hold on. I'm confused about something. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poem yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically it's not cute enough for your tastes? Do you want to get smacked? Maybe. I'll pass. Sigh. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Oh, it's this one. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't going to like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even try to take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make the message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing to go around. God, I'm having problems doing her voice for some reason. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write a poem about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other thing nice about simple writing is it makes you put more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feelings in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into this than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect this from the youngest one here, did ya? Yeah, guess not. I decide to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? Well, we've got a little bit of time, so I guess we can read Monica's poem, and then in the video after that, maybe? Let's see. So, Monica. Hi, Augustus. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Augustus. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Augustus. I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I understand you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she feels that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with lots of kindness. I don't know I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated and she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Hurry! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. You still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. All right. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Let's see. Let me make sure that this is the right one. Okay. This is the right one. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my eyes can no longer see color. Are there any others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling plays tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe disrupts before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When people perform out loud, it can be really powerful. And what was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a little bit. Yeah, I was kind of meta there, Monica. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous talking about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way for you to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. And I think that is where we're going to end off this episode. And we'll start off next episode with Yuri's poem. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what she has to write, especially after her running out so suddenly. That was quite strange. But that's for next time. And I hope to see you all there.